The ocean, not the lava, may have been the true killer of the Minoan civilization. Imagine a world of vibrant frescoes, sprawling palaces, and a maritime empire that commanded the Mediterranean. Then, in a single violent instant, the sky turns black and the sea itself rises to swallow everything. This wasn't just a natural disaster. It was the beginning of a domino effect that would erase a superpower from the map forever. To understand the fall, we must first understand the heights from which they fell. Around 1600 BC, the Minoan civilization was the undisputed master of the Aegean. Their influence stretched across the waves, fueled by sophisticated trade networks and a culture of unparalleled artistry. They were a people of the sea, building a complex society that seemed, to any contemporary observer, as eternal as the tides themselves. But the stability of the Bronze Age was a fragile illusion. Deep beneath the Aegean Sea, the Earth was preparing a reckoning. Between 1650 and 1600 BCE, the island of Thera, known today as Santorini, began to stir. This was not a mere tremor, but a geological monster waking from a long slumber. A volcanic event so massive it would redefine the history of the ancient world. When the eruption finally occurred, it was nothing short of apocalyptic. The explosion at Thera was one of the most catastrophic volcanic events in human history. It didn't just shake the ground, it literally reshaped the geography of the Aegean. The island of Thera was torn apart, its center collapsing into a massive caldera, leaving behind a void where a thriving settlement once stood. Among the first victims of this fury was the settlement of Akrotiri. Once a sophisticated hub of Minoan life, Akrotiri was buried almost instantly under layers of volcanic ash and pumice. This sudden burial acted as a time capsule, preserving the architecture and artifacts of a lost world. But for the people living there, it was a sudden and absolute end. The vibrant life of the island was silenced in a matter of hours. But the horror of Thera was only beginning. While the lava and ash were localized, the true weapon of destruction was moving toward Crete. Located approximately 85 miles, or 140 kilometers, south of the eruption site, Crete was far enough to avoid the immediate ashfall, but it was perfectly positioned to receive the ocean's wrath. The geological cataclysm had just triggered its first domino. The displacement of water caused by the massive caldera collapse sent shockwaves through the Mediterranean. These were not mere waves, but tsunamis of unprecedented scale. As these walls of water raced toward Crete, they brought with them the power to dismantle the very foundations of Minoan coastal life. The maritime infrastructure that had built their empire was now being systematically destroyed by the sea they once mastered. The impact on Crete was devastating. The tsunamis likely decimated coastal ports, destroyed fleets of merchant ships, and leveled the seaside villas that served as the economic engines of the Minoan elite. Without their ships, the Minoans lost their ability to trade, to collect tribute, and to project power. The economic backbone of the civilization was effectively snapped in a single afternoon. But the destruction of the ports was only one part of a larger, more insidious process. Forensic geological evidence suggests that the eruption may have caused significant climatic downturns. The massive amount of ash injected into the atmosphere likely blocked sunlight, leading to cooler temperatures and disrupted weather patterns. This wasn't just a momentary shock. It was a shift in the very environment the Minoans relied upon. These climatic shifts likely led to widespread crop failures and famine. For a civilization built on agricultural surplus and organized redistribution, the loss of food security was a death sentence. As the granaries emptied and the people grew hungry, the social contract that held the Minoan hierarchy together began to fray. The authority of the palace elites, once unquestioned, was now being challenged by the reality of starvation. As the economy crumbled and the food supply vanished, the social and political systems of Crete entered a period of rapid breakdown. This wasn't a sudden disappearance, but a gradual, agonizing erosion. The centralized control that had defined the Minoan era was replaced by chaos. We see this reflected in the archaeological record through a profound transformation in how the people treated their dead. Evidence from Crete shows substantial transformations in funerary and social practices during this era. Most notably, archaeologists have observed the ritual dismantling of collective tombs. This was not merely a change in tradition, it was a symptom of a society in crisis. The old ways of honoring the ancestors and maintaining social order through burial rituals were being discarded, perhaps as a desperate attempt to break from a failing past. When we piece together the forensic evidence, a terrifying picture emerges. It was a perfect storm of geological and social catastrophe. The eruption at Thera was the spark, but the tsunami was the blow. And the resulting famine and economic collapse were the slow-burning embers that eventually consumed the entire Minoan world. It was a domino effect that no ancient superpower could withstand. The Minoans did not simply vanish. They were dismantled by the very earth and sea that had once provided their wealth. Their story serves as a haunting reminder of the fragility of human civilization in the face of planetary forces. Even the most advanced empires are ultimately subject to the whims of a changing world. Thank you for watching Epoch Unseen. If you want to uncover more mysteries of our lost past, subscribe and hit the bell icon to join us on our next journey.